Hello, and welcome to episode 107 of the Casual Try Hard podcast. I'm Brian.
And I'm James.
And this week we have something really special for you. We have Kristos and Anthony from the Casual Try Hard Legends of Runeterra podcast. So I just want to give you guys
super excited.
Give you guys a heads up. We're going to start with a lot of stuff about Runeterra, the game, how it compares to Magic. And then after that, we're going to transition to some stories of Magic travels in the road and things like that. So just to make sure you guys know that there will be magic in this one.
Oh yeah, at the end. It's coming.
Yeah, so if you want to find us on Twitter, you can get at us at Casual Tripod.
Yep. You guys can also hit us up on Facebook at CasualTryHardMTG. If you want to drop us an email, you can do so at show@CasualTryHardMTG.com. Don't forget, if you're looking to pick up any Kaldheim singles, please use our TCG player affiliate link, tcg.casualtryhardmtg.com. Anything you purchase after following that link, we'll get a small percentage of to help keep the show rolling. If you want to support us a little bit more directly, you can do so at patreon.com/casualtryhardmtg. Patrons get early access to show notes. They get access to our pre-show ramblings, completely unedited and off the cuff. Just kind of whatever we feel like talking about, we throw up there for you guys. It also makes us feel important that you guys appreciate what we do. So hit us up on Patreon. We also have a YouTube channel, Casual Try Hard MTG. It's another place you can find our show. And there may be some new content coming there. I bought some sealed product I'm going to crack for the channel. Maybe some questionable video quality. I'm kind of an old guy learning this stuff, so you'll have to bear with me. But check it out and share it.
So this week we have a very special duo on the podcast.
Yeah. Definitely a unique show, kind of a break from the norm.
So we have Anthony, Rico plays, and then some numbers. And Kristos from, I guess, our new sister podcast?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I like it.
Casual Try Hard Legends of Runeterra.
Dun, dun,
yes.
dun.
Yes, sir.
So how are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
I'm doing fine. I'm glad to be here. Super excited to be on the show with my fellow peers.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I had a chat with you.
Oh yeah, it's been like years, Carson. It's been years. But it's, as I said, I'm glad to be here. Glad to have the old band back together. Team Dead AF.
Yeah, at least a reasonable portion of it.
Yes.
Yeah, so I know we've brought it up before, but when we started the podcast, I think our test episode or our first episode, we listed everyone we played Magic with, on our little team. That was why we started making show notes, is because we forgot people.
We forgot Kristos, right?
We forgot Kristos, yeah.
Oh!
Yeah. We got together, it was we forgot Kristos. We need to, make show notes from now on. But
thus my job was born.
Yes. Kristos and Anthony used to go drive around the southeast with us to in the before times to go beat up people at their local game store.
Yeah.
Yes,
that was our job. Was we'd spend weekends visiting other people's home turf, and then taking their store credit.
All of the spots in the top 8.
Yes,
yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then somehow the one person that wasn't us would get the invite. It was always great.
It's rigged, I tell you. The system's rigged.
It's always, it was 6 or 7 of us in the top 8, and then somehow we're sitting sitting in an outback going why do we get paired against each other every round?
Yeah, every time.
It's rigged.
God.
Yeah, so these guys have moved on to another game.
I wouldn't say moved on. We mentioned it in the podcast. We love MTG. We will always love MTG, but after the pandemic and when everything became digital, I kind of fell out of love with Arena a little bit.
I think it's a tough thing. We've talked on the show a little bit before about the differences between paper and digital Magic, and I definitely like paper Magic better than the digital stuff.
Yeah.
I'm with you there 100%. We talk about it a little bit on the show. I was always blessed to have the team and have you guys help and support me over with Team Did AF in terms of resources. But when I was all by myself and I started to see how expensive everything was, I started to realize like how awesome you guys are, but B, how unprepared I was to try to compete in that MTG arena wildcard economy. So I was like, I would go there, do the Painted and Seal Profe, which was do those like 6 sealed, and then get the cards from there, and then try to get the wild cards to get the cards. But I'd make one decent deck, and the way the digital space is, everything's always adapting. At 12 p.m., the hot deck on the ladder is not the same 3 hours later.
Yeah,
So
I mean, there's
I
been,
just
like on release weekend, a lot of times you can watch whatever the meta is. You can like literally watch it change by the hour.
Exactly. And I just couldn't keep up anymore.
So just real quick to give you a sense of paper Magic prices right now. Remember, like, you have held an Underground Sea in your hands, correct?
I own a couple.
I own a couple as well. When I got them, they were like $200 to $300, which is still ridiculous for a teeny tiny piece of cardboard. Underground Seas, as of like last week, are $1,100.
You gotta be kidding me.
Tropical Islands are more expensive.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because
well, prices are different today.
They are?
I just pulled them up in front of me. Underground Seas are $1,300.
Okay.
Tropical Islands are $1,100. Volcanic Islands are $950. Mox Diamonds are $800.
No.
Lion's Eye Diamonds are $650.
So
Sarah's Sanctums are $500.
Sarah's Sanctums are $500. I bought mine in last December for $80 a piece.
Scrubland is $360.
Wow.
Yeah.
So something that you'll never have to worry about on Legends of Runeterra is apparently as Bitcoin goes up, Magic cards go up.
Yep.
Because you got to get your Bitcoins into something you can turn into money.
Holy moly, Aloran is $120.
No.
That card was stuck at $20 forever.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to
Enough
see.
of that.
Okay.
I'll close that before I start. Keep looking.
Before you start liquidating your collection.
Yeah, really.
It's like, hey, I think I found out how to quit my job.
Yeah.
I can sell 2 Underground Seas and cover this month. It's great. So that is something we never have to worry about with Legends of Runeterra. So what is Legends of Runeterra? We are both old and stuck in our physical card ways. So what is this?
Okay. Legends of Runeterra is an ETCG. It is only online, and it's never going to be a physical game. So you're only ever going to pay the price of a card online. So like it's like $1 for a rare, and then after that, it'll be yours forever, and that's it.
You just buy singles?
Yeah, so they have 3 different tiers for cards, and then it's like 100 credits in game is $1, and then each card has its own credit assignment.
Okay.
So you can buy that. It's a very easy math system to work out. I paid like $10 for a deck, and I can play that deck all the way to Mythic and be fine.
Cool.
Yeah, and so they don't have the buy a pack and buy the wild cards type deal. It's just buy the cards that you want, flat rate. There you go.
That's cool.
So
That makes it easy.
Yeah, very very straightforward, very easy to understand.
So like, it's a card game It's a card game though based on Legends of Runeterra, like not Legends of Runeterra.
It's based off of the League of Legends IP by Riot.
That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah. So it is well established, definitely in the community. I mean, Leagues of Legends is probably the most successful esport there is out there. And Riot usually tends to do a really good job with all of their games, like Valorant, League of Legends, now Legends of Runeterra, and all of it. The Legends of Runeterra world is based off the League of Legends IP, which is it's already established. It has like 11. How long is it? 11 years, Kristos?
Yeah, League started in 2009.
2009. So basically 11, 12 years of just lore behind it.
Man, that was the year I moved to South Carolina.
That's crazy.
Hey. So it's really well established, and it has a good foundation in it.
You said that you, like when you're building your deck, you just buy the singles. Does that mean that there's no limited environment?
Correct.
Oh.
Well, there is, but it's called expeditions.
Yeah, it's different.
Yes, it's not exactly how limited is in MTG.
Okay.
Basically, the way that limited works in Runeterra is you get to choose from 3 different sets of 3, and each set of 3 has a champion card, which for Magic terms we're going to call it a mythic, but it's a little bit more powerful than a mythic, almost like a commander kind of. And then it has 2 support cards. So you choose one set of 3, and then it goes on to the next screen, and basically the client starts like not like building the deck for you, but once it sees, okay, this person has chosen 2 or 3 different sets of Targon cards, let's go ahead and just give them Targon choices.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, like the set themed boosters.
Yeah.
It's very similar to those.
Okay.
I was thinking almost like for the really old, the seeded packs from Sealed. Like, remember when we did cons?
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah,
like,
and you got
I want to be.
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
It's
Perfect example.
It's the same way that Eternal does their draft. That might just be how like just straight digital games do draft. Is they kind of like you tell it where you're going, and then it kind of puts you on that path.
Yeah, it picks your lane for you, more or less.
Or you pick your lane, and then it helps you fill it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as opposed to like you're not going to get like last pick green card when you're blue-black. Right.
Right. That's not going to happen.
You're going to get blue and black cards kind of the whole way through at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, how does the game work? Like, we're all used to, the arcane system of hoping to draw the correct ratio of lands and spells and casting things.
If you have played Hearthstone before, it's kind of similar to that, where every turn your mana goes up by 1, and you start at 1, and it goes to 2, and then 3, 4, and you have that to work with.
5 comes after that?
5 does come after that.
Okay, cool.
And so each card is assigned a number. So you have your 1-drops, and then you can have your 9-drops that are the supposed big finishers.
Mm-hmm.
And you can double spell. You can do stuff like that. You can play things on your opponent's turn to block and do that sort of thing. And the whole priority system is very different for Magic.
Mm-hmm.
It is the thing that I've had to learn the most and get used to.
And that's different from Hearthstone too, because like Hearthstone, there is no instance, right?
Yeah, things have they don't have haste, but they have like pseudo haste. I would recommend you play through the tutorial and learn how to do it. I'm not the best at explaining. It's a very unique system, but I can say it runs smoothly. All of Riot's games are optimized incredibly well. They can run on a toaster.
Not like Arena.
Not like you don't. Fun fact: you don't have to restart your Legends of Runeterra client every 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's nice.
I've not run into that, but remember the meme from Magic Online?
Yeah.
Pro players restart their client after every 3 matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a thing here.
The one big difference that I will say is that each turn, basically, you get to draw a card. So, it's turn 1. You have what is called the attack token. You and your opponent draw 1 card. Then, once you pass priority and you pass the turn passes, the attack turn passes to the opponent. Then you and your opponent again then draw another card.
I
So-
imagine that speeds games up, right?
Yes, it speeds games up. And then what I really like about it is that it then gives more choices to the player.
Yeah.
So once again, MTG has the issue with balancing, the creatures and and having to deal with lands. But here, the chance of variance is a little bit less. I mean, it's a card game. You're always going to have variance, but because you and your opponent are constantly drawing cards and passing priority, like the level of gamemanship between you and the opponent, is there's more to it there.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and it probably also helps because there's less variance, right? Because you don't have to worry about your mana.
Exactly.
Right. That's like the big, for me, one of the biggest draws to Runeterra is that you don't have to worry about lands. Because you know me, I'm, what is it, Jimmy or Timmy? The guy who likes to play big things.
Timmy.
I'm Timmy. I want to drop my 9-drop there and smash you in the face. So I don't have to worry about lands in my deck. So I'm just like, all right, give me Tryndamere. Here's an 8/4 with Overwhelm. I'm going to smash your face in. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Do you get a mana? Do you get a mana each time the token switches, or it's just when the token comes back to you?
Yeah.
Yes. Each time the attack token switches, you get a mana.
So it's like in Magic, where like in a perfect world, it's your turn, you get 1, and it's your turn again, you get 2. In Runeterra, it's you get 1, then it goes to your opponent, and now you have 2, and then it comes back to you, and you have 3.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that makes your like 8-drop, like not only 1 are you guaranteed to cast it when you expect to, because you know when you're gonna have 8.
Yeah.
Right.
Every game, you know when you get 8, but it's like effectively on our turn 4 or
Yes.
5.
Yes.
Because like you're just getting way more. Okay.
Yeah. So in Magic, games can go to like the 40-minute round timers, right? In Runeterra, these are like 15, 20 minutes max.
For a whole round or for a match?
For a whole match.
Wow.
Is it match best 2 out of 3?
So you can play best of 1 on the ladder, I believe.
Yeah, on the ladder right now, it's just best of 1. In their tournaments, what they do is it's still based out of best of 1, but you bring 3 decks. So you bring 3 decks, they bring 3 decks, and then you choose to ban one of them, and they choose to ban one of yours, and then you choose the first deck you're going to play with, and then you're just off to the races.
Wasn't one of the arena tournaments structured like that?
It was the Menguchi tournament where you brought 2, and you had to play like deck 1, deck 2. Okay, game 1 you played one deck, game 2 you played the other deck, and then game 3 you got to pick which deck you played.
Yeah.
That format was awful.
It was.
I don't know if it was
That
awful
didn't seem
because
great.
because the options, the deck options were no WinCon Esper control, and was it mono white? Was that the thing? At that
mono
point?
Yeah, it was.
And mono white, and like then you just played like you hoped you played Esper versus mono white, and then like every third game was the
Hands
Esper
up.
control mirror,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh my god. So okay, so I take it it's a little bit better than that format.
So yeah. So the reason it's bad in Magic is because you need to sideboard in Magic, and playing games without a sideboard is not playing Magic. In Runeterra, there's no sideboarding, so everything is designed for best of 1.
Right.
So
and
you have more flexible
flows.
cards.
Yeah, like I play a burn deck on best of 1 because that's what I do. Yeah. It flows. Instead of trying to outplay your opponent with like unknown cards, it's more like the limited sense of outplaying them with combat tricks and doing stuff like that.
Okay. So it's more bluffing?
Combat in Runeterra is more important than it is in Magic the Gathering, because in Runeterra there isn't a plethora of kill spells. It's more of, I'm in combat, you're in combat, do you have that combat trick? Can I bluff my combat trick? And combat is just more important. And then in terms of combat, there is a thing called Overwhelm, which is really close to MTG's Trample, and in Legends of Runeterra, you can only block with one creature. So because of that, things like Overwhelm and Combat Tricks are way more important, right? So like if I have one of my decks I like to play is basically called Overwhelm, and all my creatures have Overwhelm. Basically, they all have Trample, and I have a card, a 5-mana card that's called Decisive Maneuver. And basically, what that card does is it stuns my opponent's card and gives the rest of my team +2/+0. So, because unlike Magic, where you can triple block and quadruple block, they only can 1-on-1 me, and then I smack them with the Decisive Maneuver. So I basically stop one of their creatures from blocking, and then all my extra damage goes over. So usually by turn 5, I've basically won the game because I'm going aggro, aggro, aggro. I have a big field of Overwhelm cards, hit them with Decisive Maneuver, unless they have a heal spell or unless they have something called Hush, which basically silences my units. They're dead.
So
good.
Does combat work more like, I don't know, like I think like in Pokemon and like Dragon Ball and stuff, you get to like attack at creatures, right? Does it work like that, or does it work like Magic where you just attack the player and then
You're attacking the player.
Yeah, attacking the Nexus.
Yeah. It's really the one-on-one blocking thing is probably the most important part, because you have to either throw away a guy, and then most of your creatures can't heal. So like in Magic, when there's 2 damage on a thing, it goes away at the end of turn.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't happen.
Right.
So damage that's marked on your creature stays marked.
Yeah, so, some cards do heal, and that's like one of their abilities, but most do not.
So like your Kristos is playing a burn deck, Anthony's playing big smashy things. Like is the meta kind of just all aggressive all the time? Or are there other kind of decks?
So there are a lot.
Yes, the one thing I love about Runeterra is that it has, the meta is crazy. Like there's always going to be like those 4 decks that are going to be quote unquote like S tier, but like there are 12 decks in the meta that are like A or above. And it's all basically tailored to the play style that you like. So right now, one of the top decks is Fiora Shen, and the other one is basically I'm trying to think of it as like MTG terms, but it's basically a deck that's like Protect the Queen type of deck.
So it's Boggles.
It's Boggles.
Like Boggles, right? You have your 2 or 3 threats, and then the rest of your cards, their job is to protect those cards. Then you have Kristos, who's coming in with super aggro, and there's like 2 or 3 different types of aggros that you can deal with. There's burn aggro, which is basically go to the face, go to the face, go to the face. There's a deck called Fearsome Aggro, where you have a bunch of spiders and little units that have fearsome. So creatures with powers of 2 or less, like you can't block with those creatures. So if your opponent has 2 or less, creatures with 2 or less power, they can't be blocked. So basically they go wide with a bunch of spiders and they keep smashing into face. Then there's my version of aggro, which is Overwhelm aggro. That's a little bit bigger, but my thing is, because I'm always getting quote unquote trampling damage in, like I'm going to your face, getting that extra damage in. Then, there's your mid-range decks. There's a deck for you, Karsten, that it's called Ezreal and Swain, and it's literally built for you. It is Jund. It is Jund, but in Legends of Runeterra, I mean, it's like 2, 3, 4. You kill spell, kill spell, kill spell. You drop your Swain, who's a 3/6 monster, whose ability is basically after dealing 12 non-combat damage to your opponent, it becomes this massive 4/7 that is able to stun your opponent, which basically means like your opponent's creatures can't attack.
Oh,
And
wow.
then it's even better. I just thought about it, it's even better for you, Carson, because its side card is a boat. It's an actual boat, I just realized. And then that boat hits your opponent for 3 at the end of every turn.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's like a combo. Sorry.
I just need to point out what noise does that boat make?
Yeah.
Very good,
They
very good.
even have a dredge deck
Ooh,
in Legends of Runeterra.
ooh, I like dredge decks.
Yeah,
This is
it
alright.
is super degenerate. It just throws its deck into the graveyard, and then after it's done that for a couple turns, its creatures are just enormous, and then you just whack them.
Yeah, it's what's it called? It's defense.
That's a Maokai Nautilus. Yeah, it's
Yes,
called
yes,
defense.
yes. It is your deck. Perfect.
Yeah, I really like it. So you know how Magic has the Planeswalkers, like the Jace Gatewatch team,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and a lot of people don't like the Jace Gatewatch team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
League
think it's mainly
has-
just the Jays that people.
Yeah,
don't like.
the Jace part. League has 150 champions, and
Oh, wow.
each one of them are like a member of the Gatewatch, where they all have their own story and they get updated every week, like with new stories.
Well, I mean, there's more than 5 planeswalkers. In
Yeah,
Magic.
yeah.
I
But
mean,
like each one is a main character, so you can, if you like that one, you can focus on that and then
Oh,
build your
okay.
deck around that, if that makes sense.
so like, in perspective here, Magic went a brief time recently with no story updates,
hmm
and like now we're getting a little bit of lore again,
Yeah.
but not nearly what we had like
Like
5
the
years
Ixalan
ago,
days.
like
Right.
Ixalan and like before.
Yeah.
So I had this thought: how many cards are there? Like, I don't need like an exact number, but like, how many cards are there in Legends of Runeterra? Are we talking like
I would say there's like 5 Magic sets.
5 Magic sets? So like 1,000, 1,500.
Thereabouts. Probably, yeah, I'd say anywhere from like 900 to 1,000. Does that sound
Okay.
right, Rico?
I would have to do research on it. I don't know the exact numbers. I just know that
Just take a guess.
in Runeterra world, there's been like 3-4 sets.
So,
Yeah,
how do they handle like a set release?
So basically, what they do is they focus on one region, and then after they do that region, it's like 2 sets per region. So because they're still coming out with different cards in different regions, it's like it's different than it is in MTG, where in MTG you go off to like a different planes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Here they're going and visiting the land of Runeterra because they're still in the like beginning parts.
Okay.
So for example, like last big release was the release of Targon, a region of like mystical creatures.
Mhm.
I hate that region. There's some really busted, stupid cards there, but I'll talk about that on my podcast.
So it's Eldraine.
Kind of like
Maybe
there-
not as listed.
there's like a 1-drop called Zoe, and she's so powerful for a 1-drop. It's ridiculous. And then there's another 1-mana spell that's Hush, and it basically silences your unit. So whatever abilities or whatever things that card had get null and void. So, like, for example, just to give you a quick example, I have Tryndamere on my deck, is a huge 8/4 overwhelm champion. Its level ability is when I die, level me up to a 10/10 overwhelm. So my whole thing is I hit you with an 8/4 overwhelm. If you kill it, that's great, but then I become a 10/10 right afterwards. The problem is that I invest all my mana into dropping this card. I swing, and then for 1 mana, my opponent makes it into an 8/4 dead. Like I'm just an 8/4 dumb thing.
Yeah.
They block with their whatever creature there is, and then my Tryndamere is dead. Like I don't get the level up ability. I don't get anything. I just wasted all my mana. but I'll argue about that card later.
So I meant more like not really mechanically, like how do they
Oh,
handle
sorry.
that? I meant more like how, like when they release a set, is it just like here's the date, it's all out there for
Yeah.
whatever you want, or
That is more or less the case. They do like a little announcement
that.
party in the client and on their social media stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just like, here it is. You can do whatever you want. It's available to buy. Go nuts.
okay,
'Cause
so they
what-
just like flip the switch and turn it on. There's
Yeah,
no
pretty
like
much.
there's no pre-release weekend, there's no like spoiler
No.
season. It's just like here you go.
Yeah, it's just like, there it is. Here's all the cards. Take a look. Go nuts.
There's a little bit of a spoiler season, but nothing like MTG.
Yeah, it's not like you see all the cards. It's you see like a handful of cards.
Right.
Gotcha.
They kind of changed it because at first, when it first came out, they actually made a limit to how many cards you could buy.
Mhm.
But because everyone went absolutely nuts about it, the community leader decided, okay, you know what? We'll take away this cap. Because at first they really wanted to make it so that all the free-to-play players had a really good chance of keeping up with everyone.
Oh, gotcha.
So they made a cap, but then like after all of your diehard fans complained about it, they removed that cap. So now like any player can come in and spend however much money they want on the cards that they want to buy.
So, I mean, that sounds like an awful business model. Please, don't give us your money.
Yeah.
Riot. Well, occasionally they will make some silly, interesting errors. They are quick to fix them.
Yes, I will say they've been exceptional, like the way they've been handling their community. A lot of the things that the players do complain about, they do an awesome job in terms of trying to figure it out. Like, for example, in one of the tournaments that they had, one of the big things that Runeterra does is like animations while you're playing the card. But the problem is once you do an animation, the timer still goes on.
Oh.
So here you are thinking, okay, like if they have this and that, let me go play this card. You do the thing. Oh no, the animation's still going. It's a 5 to 10 second animation. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. Oh no, the pass has already been given to my opponent. That was a huge issue on the last like big tournament they had. But then the community leader came out and was like, hey, we understand this, so we're going to fix it for next tournament. And they've already come up with a fix for it, where the animations do not go against your chess clock.
Yeah.
I was going to say, this is kind of like when you play a questing beast and then you can't see your card.
Yes,
Yeah.
Right?
it's
How many,
exactly
how
like
many
that.
times have you, like, has your opponent played a questing beast, the animation's still going on and you're getting hit for 4?
Yeah.
They just managed to hit, like, attack all while the animation's happening.
Yeah, that's one thing that I wish would be across the board for all TCGs on the online environment. Just let me turn off animations.
Yeah, like, that would just make life easier for...
Like
if you want animations, cool, leave it on. Like, it should default to on. But if you're like, I just want to like look at boring rectangles.
Yeah.
Let me look at boring rectangles.
I cannot tell you. Carnage Tyrant was the worst offender, and now it's Uro,
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
Uro's pretty bad.
Uro's banned from standard, so you'll have to look at it in historic.
I want to play historic.
And we don't have Pioneer or Modern on there for him to dominate and go when you cast him. So you mentioned something a second ago, which is like Legends of Runeterra being very pro free to play.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, I had questions about that too.
yeah, how would you compare the Legends of Runeterra free to play to the Magic the Gathering Arena free to play?
Not close to close. Legends of Runeterra is so much better. It is laughable.
It's not close, Karsten and Brofe. Like the way that they do their rewards, it's just so generous. So, just a quick little spiel. You have 2 ways that you basically get rewards. Each week, you get to choose to be in a certain region. For example, this week I'm going to play with my favorite region, which is the Freyord. As you start getting XP for all the games that you play, and of course, just like MTG, there's certain quests that you can do. For example, let's just say that one of them is, hit for 20 points of overwhelm damage. Mm-hmm. So you get put on a little roadmap, and as you go on that little roadmap, just like a let's say like a game pass, like a battle game pass type of thing, each time you hit a certain certain XP point, you get a reward. So on one end, you have your little roadmap going, and then on the other hand, you have something called the weekly vault going. So each time that you play, you get on the roadmap and the weekly vault, which are basically 3 chests. And those 3 chests start to upgrade the more XP you get and the more wins you get. So it starts from iron to silver to gold to diamond, and just goes all the way up to master's diamond weekly vault. And every Thursday that weekly vault opens and you get all of your awards. I would say I've only spent $20 on the client and have only really used $10 of it to get cards, because they're just so generous on terms of the WOD cards that they give you. Like it's completely night and day.
Like I spent $10, got a tier 1 deck, and I have farmed 2 other tier 1 decks.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. And I've played the game for like a month.
You guys mentioned a couple different ways to play too. You said you can play on the ladder, which I'm assuming is free to play.
It is.
Yes.
And then you also said something about tournaments. Like what's the difference and how does that work?
There's really 3 different type of things. So one is going to be on the ladder. That's your ranked system. 2, there's going to be your normal system. 3 is expeditions, which is going to be your limited way system. And then 4 is going to be what they call a gauntlet. So the gauntlet is more of it's like one of the tournament styles where you bring in your 3 decks, they bring in their 3 decks, and then you ban and then you play. And you need up to 7 wins in a row off of gauntlet. And then they give you I forget the terminology, but basically it's a token that you can then use to try to fight in their Grand Prix battle. So I want to say it's every 2 to 3 months. They take the best, forgive me if I'm wrong with the exact numbers here, but they take the best, like I'm just going to say 2,500, and they put everyone into a big tournament. And then after that big tournament, it's Swiss rounds. Then they do day 2. And then after day 2, they do the top 8. And then it's a whole massive tournament.
Yeah, I would try to relate this to MTG with like the gauntlet being a PTQ. And then going there, you get invited to like the arena GP, quote unquote, that they have for Mythic.
Gotcha.
And then after that is like a PT. And those are once every 3 months.
So, like, which events do you have to pay for, though?
None. Yeah, you just don't.
Nothing?
No,
so the only thing you have to spend
join.
money on is the cards?
Yeah, you just join.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think one of the advantages that Riot does have, and like Brofe kind of explained it perfectly, but basically Riot has the foundation of League of Legends and all these other games to kind of like have the money made so that they can have this type of, laissez-faire model with this new game of Legends of Runeterra and not completely like freak out. Like I'm about to quote you here, Profe. Where WotC is a card game trying to get into the digital space, Riot is a digital game company getting to the card space. So they have a whole bunch of advantages that just come inherently that WotC just doesn't have.
So, like, one thing that you already talked about is how that manifests in the fact that the game can run, I think as Kristos put it, on a toaster. And it doesn't crash. And, right, like, there was
It is.
a few weeks ago where Magic Pros are sending out pictures where their deck disappeared on like turn 2. They went to draw a card and they had no deck on Arena.
Nice.
And we have our new set has a card that when it becomes tapped, you make a treasure. And it has another card that says tap another creature, make a mana. And those two cards don't work together on Arena because you don't get priority. So if it doesn't see that you have something to cast, it doesn't give you priority and passes you through your turn.
No.
So like it works in paper, right? But now they're trying to like move this paper thing to a digital space, and it might not work. And the other thing, like you were talking about this in terms of money, is like Wizard of the Coast is the only thing at Hasbro that makes money.
Yeah,
Like
they're supporting everything instead of the other way around.
Like they have the Transformers. They can't make money with car robots. They just have to do it with Arena, and so Arena has to be like, "Ooh, can we get a nickel out of him? Ooh, let's get that nickel. We need that nickel."
Yeah, like League makes like $7 billion every year.
Yeah, so like I think you had mentioned on when I was doing practice podcasts that the way that they make money on Legends of Runeterra is by selling you different skins and card styles and sleeves and stuff. So it's basically like the cosmetics is where they get you.
Yeah, that's the Riot philosophy is they sell skins and like different cosmetic upgrades. Like for example, in Valorant, they're dropping a new skin line in 2 days and it's like $80, but I'm probably going to buy it because it looks really good.
You're going to spend $80 on stuff that doesn't do anything for you other than like
absolutely
look sexy?
Yeah, I'm not going to spend $80 on the like entirety of Keldheim release.
Yeah. See, they get you. It looks really good.
They also have some really funny emotes, man. That just
like
it makes your experience better, but not everyone else's.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I play with emotes off.
So do I.
Oh man,
I play with emotes off. Like everyone knows if you run into me and you're like saying hello, I'm not responding. Not because I'm ignoring you. I just see nothing. I just see nothing. I'm just like, this is nice. Like, you can only be told your go so many times before you're just like, you know what? It is my go.
I'm good.
I'm gonna go turn you off now.
Oh man, there's one that's one of my favorites. That it's Swain, and he's going like making a mind blown motion. So like anytime like an opponent like. What they do is they'll always hit me with the bad BMs and they'll say good game before they actually kill me. And then I come back with a sudden kill and I just spam the crap out of mind blown. It's so much fun.
That sounds like a healthy environment. Yeah, that sounds exactly like League of Legends. It's nice.
Doesn't sound any less toxic than like Magic Twitter, though.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's true.
Oh no, my goodness.
I don't follow Legends of Runeterra Twitter. So
there is banter in every community. And
yes,
by banter, I mean toxic players.
I'll put it this way: one of the top creators of Legends of Runeterra is Jeff Hoogland. So I'll leave that one right there for you.
Boo Hoogland!
Are there skins of him in an owl suit?
Yeah, if not.
Not yet.
Riot, make this happen.
Yeah, we'll get on the devs.
Yeah, get right on that. Get bust into the Matrix, make that happen. Okay, so the reason we had these guys on was because they have their own podcast about Legends of Runeterra. And so what we're going to do is after this episode goes up this week, here in a few days, we're going to post their first episode on our channel so you can get a taste of what their podcast is like. And maybe you want to like check out Legends of Runeterra and check them out.
So we talked a whole lot about the game, right? Like the Runeterra game. Mm-hmm. Like what are you trying to do with your show?
We're trying to have a general, I would put it as a mix between like arena deck lists and your podcast. So I want to be able to go into details on certain decks for certain weeks and talk about metagame changes and cards you pick for XYZ and do all that sort of stuff. And then Rico will go into some later detail and have things that he wants to talk about certain weeks and have a more generalization.
So you're looking to like level people up, like take people from like a more casual player and kind of turn them into a little bit more competitive player where they care about the meta and chasing the meta game and stuff like that.
Yeah, I want people that play maybe normals or like limited and turn them into like GP players.
Okay.
There's a reason why I spent so much money on the franchising Casual Try Hard license.
All the millions, huh?
The millions that I spent. But basically, I really want to be like, like you two, kind of being the ambassadors to the newer players and trying to get them to a better level. Okay. I also am trying to get some interviews done by some of the more competitive players, because right now we're at a place where it's just starting. So if Kristos and I can build a community, a strong community, we can get on the ground floor on this puppy, and we can see how far we can go.
Awesome.
So
that's the plan.
I feel like we've talked a lot of Legends of Runeterra.
We have,
and so I feel like since we're a Magic podcast, let's reward some people with some tales of the old times.
Ooh. Tales of the old times.
Sounds fun.
Do tell.
So I think the classic, perhaps the best of the best, is we were on a team. Anthony.
Oh, I already know where this one's going. Oh God.
Anthony, Cameron, and I. And so Magic team tournaments are 3 formats. So Standard, Modern, and Legacy.
This was from like the first team event, right?
This was the first team event.
Trios.
This is the first team trios event that we played.
It was like the first one. Well, I think it was the first one that Star City ever ran.
Yeah. And so the way they seat you is they seat the Legacy player and the Standard player on opposite sides of the Modern player in the middle. So Anthony was playing Standard. And we had spent like a month going to Cameron's house like 3 times a week, just making Anthony play his deck against everything conceivable. Like everything we could think of, we just had him play his deck against. And whenever he would make a mistake, I would like joke that I was going to hit him with a rolled up newspaper. So
like a dog.
It was bad. So I actually got the Coastal Student newspaper, rolled it up, and then wrapped it with some packing tape and packed it in my bag. And before the tournament, I was like, if you forget to do, I forget what the thing was you weren't allowed to forget to do. I was like, but if you forget this, I'm going to whack you with this rolled up newspaper. And I think you didn't forget that trigger once, I don't think. The fear was real.
I think I forgot it. I think you hit me once out there, bro.
I do think I hit you once. This is fair.
I remember. I don't remember if it was either me not making a token off of Thraben Inspector, or if it was like me forgetting that Scrap Heap Scrounger can come back from the graveyard. But I just remember missing it. You looking over. This is in the middle of a hall, ladies and gentlemen. Like, there are thousands of players all around us, and you just see a newspaper come up, hit me in the head, and then leave, and then me playing like nothing, like everything's fine. The opponent later came up to me and was like, hey man, you need another team? Like everything's okay over there?
Did he really ask that?
Yeah.
You couldn't have missed your trigger.
Yeah.
You missed the trigger, you get the newspaper.
Yeah, it's like I had it coming. It was fun. I had it coming.
Oh man, and then my other favorite one, which we already kind of spoke about it, was with Karsten, where Karsten legitimately. Did you tell your opponent to make the sound, or did you just make the sound?
Oh no, I made him make the sound.
So the sound,
boat?
The boat.
The big boat, yeah.
Like he played the Skyship Sovereign,
yeah,
and like he like played it and it like deals 3 damage when it comes into play, and you're like, I'm not putting my creature in the graveyard unless you make the sound. And he went,
yeah, he wasn't very amused, but he cooperated.
That's really funny.
I was way more amused.
Oh, that was
see, we had I'm trying to think. I had one in my head and I lost it. We had so many good times where we could see people.
Yeah.
Okay, so another one for you, Profe. Like, I could retell the entire last minutes of us making to day 2.
Oh, I mean, we have to go through all that much detail, but if you want to, like, from your perspective, I still look back on that play and realize I made the wrong play.
Oh my god! So
It was a great game, though.
Oh man! So this was the last round. We needed this win to get into day 2. This was after weeks and weeks of training and having to deal with BO and all of that. So
And flying newspapers.
and flying newspapers. So it's down to Profe. I believe I lost my match, but Cameron won his. And I don't know much about Legacy, but I know that everyone's like looking at the game, and Profe has like certain hand motions that he does. So if it's like a hand on his head and it's deep thought, it means Profe has the game. He's just looking at the way to not lose the game. So he's like fiddling his deck, and I'm like, please put your hand on your head. Please put your hand on your head. And then he puts his hand on his head. And I'm like, oh, yes, okay. We're doing fine. We have a shot here. And then you Caracas his...
No, I was supposed to get a Caracas.
I forget what you were what you did.
So I think I played a Crucible. I think I played a Crucible of Worlds and replayed my Sajiri step to give my Merit Lage Pro black, so he couldn't make a Merit Lage to block mine. So a Merit Lage is a token that you get from sacrificing land, and it's a 20/20 flying indestructible. So, busted. And so I got a Sajiri step so I could make it so he couldn't block. And I look back on it, I should have got a Caracas, which lets you bounce a legendary creature, so he could make his Merit Lage, and then I could block it. Or then I could bounce it and still win the game. But I was playing against lands, and lands should be, like, nearly unwinnable for me.
Yeah.
And, like, and my deck was a deck that tried to win on turn 2 or turn 3, and I think we were on, like, turn 22.
And ladies and gentlemen, what makes this moment even more epic? This was after was it 3 judge calls because he kept on putting too many cards in his hand.
He would Magic had 7 cards, and I think he had 8 and then 9 on back-to-back turns. He was playing life. He was playing Life from the Loam. So he would loam back up and then pass the turn. And he had so I judge called him once, and then I kept asking him, because
cards in hand,
because the judge gave me a failure to maintain.
Yeah, it was crazy
because it had gone too far when I realized he had too many cards. It went through a turn cycle, and I was like, "How many cards do you have?" And he's like, "Oh, I have 9." And I was like, "What the heck?"
Well, that's too many.
And so they were like, well, you should have caught it sooner. And I was like,
what?
How? So I just had to keep asking, how many cards do you have in your hand? How many cards do you have in your hand? It was a less than ideal situation.
Yeah.
So, and then there was, Kristos never played a team tournament with us.
Yes, I did.
Which one did you play with us?
I played in Baltimore 2019.
Oh, I
played with Logan and James.
I don't remember what I played that tournament though.
I played humans.
That makes sense.
Then there was another one that it was me, James, and Cameron, and I just made it. I was angry and just made us keep playing even though we were 2-6.
Yeah, well, that was the Dumpster Fire Open.
No, that wasn't. No, that wasn't. That was another one.
Yeah, you're right. There was another one.
I remember the Dumpster Fire one where we got 2 messages saying we're 0-2. And then I didn't hear anything else the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, and we're out.
Yep.
Yeah. And that was right before the world imploded.
Yeah, that was like the last event we played before.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it was like we did that, and then there was no more Paper Magic. So it's like, what's your last Paper Magic experience?
Dumpster fire.
The dumpster fire. Yeah, it was rough. It was very, very rough.
I have so many good memories of me and Cameron just going every single weekend to like some 4-hour away game store where we just like traveled the Carolinas for a whole summer. That was take me back. That was so much fun.
Yeah, those were like
I was
good
really
times.
looking forward to GP Charlotte last year.
Yeah.
That never happened.
Yeah, like it was great, like hopping in the car and driving someplace and having like 7 grown adult men across like 4 queen-size beds in 2 rooms. It was like, we'll make this work. It's fine.
Yeah. Somehow it'll work out.
Somehow it'll work out.
It always did. It
It always did.
Yeah.
There were never any fights.
Yep.
We've talked about Bowman before, but we've not had him on the podcast. I forget where we were. So Bowman, as you know, is the official speed runner of the Casual Try Hard Network and twitch.tv/Azure. And we were at some tournament and someone walks up to him and goes, "Are you the Azure?"
Yep.
And
know about this.
and then gives him a pack of fruit snacks. Because he had said on his stream, like, if you see me at GP whatever,
It was Atlanta.
GP Atlanta, give me fruit snacks. And this guy just walks up, "Are you the Azure?" And
I love that.
he got
I'm pretty
fruit
sure it
snacks.
was Kaladesh Limited.
Yeah, it might have been. That might have been the one where I got like one of the worst sealed pulls I've ever gotten in my life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Anthony, were you there when I day 2'd? What was it? Was it Hour? No, it was Amonkhet.
Was that Gate of the Afterlife one?
No.
No, it was Amonkhet Limited.
Amonkhet Limited. When I flashed in the vizier of deferment to blink the guy's token.
Yep. And he had no idea what was happening. His face was just of pure horror when he's like, "Why is he tapping 3 mana? Oh no, what is happening?" It was awesome.
So he had, oh gosh, the blue-white legend. It's a 2/2 that makes a token creature +1/+1 and unblockable.
Yeah, King Tut.
King Tut, yeah. And so he was like beating me down with a token, and I was dead that turn. And Vizier of Deferment lets you blink an attacking creature.
Yep.
So I attacked and blinked his token. He attacked and I blinked his token, and won the game. And he was just like, "Oh, good luck on day 2." Like, it's like, thanks. Yeah,
The pain in that voice.
it was like winning in. That was also the tournament that I played Karsten's like round 2 opponent.
That I got demolished.
Yeah, who then told me that what you said did not happen.
Yeah. No,
And I was like, no, he distinctly said you went Ronus into Glorybringer, kill him. No, I didn't do that.
Well, it wasn't just Ronus into Glorybringer. It was like Ramp Spell into Ronus into Glorybringer.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
He's like, yeah.
Insane.
He's like, I didn't do that. And I was like,
Yeah, you did.
pretty sure you did. Like, I don't know why you're like,
It
now,
was like back-to-back games.
yeah. Now, the only
Like,
thing,
I think I finished the entire round in 7 minutes.
Oh my god.
yeah. So the only thing I could think was something you don't have to worry about on Arena or Legends of Runeterra is that was around the time where there was this like kind of scandal, kind of like magic-y underworld of people showing up to sealed GPs and just like building a standard deck.
Yeah.
Like just showing up with like the best like 3 possible rares you could have.
Yeah.
And you're just like, how do you have like Gronus, Glorybringer, and other green red mythic How can that be your sealed pool? And it's like, well, actually, it wasn't my sealed pool. I brought these cards myself. So I don't know if it was that situation where it's like, dude, you rolled them with these cards. And he's like, I didn't have those cards.
No, I didn't.
No, please, no one ask. But yeah, it was awkward. That was also the event where we were driving up. And what was that? That was in Atlanta, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We were going there, and we were like, that set had invocations.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, what would be the best invocation to open in this format? And the one I came up with, I forget what it's called. It's a black enchantment that's like pay a black, sack a creature, destroy a creature.
Yeah.
And I was like, that would
attrition?
be attrition. I was like, attrition would be the best one to open. And we build our decks, we submit our deck lists, and we look through Anthony's deck, and what does he have in his sideboard? He has attrition. He has
in the sideboard.
In the sideboard.
It is true. Yeah. This did happen, yes.
Like an unbeatable limited card. Unbeatable. All of your creatures are just deal some damage, kill your opponent's best thing. And Anthony was like, "Oh, should I have played that?" I was like, I talked about it in the car, man. It was like, "Oh, okay."
And then I proceeded to win all my games after that.
So. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like that card's great. Why are you not playing that? Going places. Remember going places?
Yeah.
I want to go to a paper event again so bad, but I don't at the same time because they're so disgusting that I just don't know if I ever want to do it again.
Like you look back on it and you're like, how did we all not get something? Well,
we did.
Yeah, every time
the GP crud.
Yeah, every time you came over for GP, you were sick.
Yeah.
Because
we had a name for it. It was the GP crud.
This is true.
Every time you came home from a GP, you had the GP crud.
Well,
that should have been our first like red flag. Maybe we shouldn't do these.
Yeah,
I'd do another one in a heartbeat.
Yeah, in our defense, the GP crud didn't kill like 2% of the people who got it. Like I would have been much more hesitant to go to a GP to be like, there's 2,000 people in here. 50 of them are dead next Friday. I'd be like, I'm probably not going to go to that.
I'll play the odds.
So Anthony's also a saint or crazy or both. We were coming back from Baltimore. I stayed to play. That's what it was. I stayed to play the Legacy. It was like a side of it. It was a classic, which were like an 8-round tournament or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like on the edge of like cashing the whole thing. So like the whole game, the whole tournament, I was like, well, I have to play it out because I might cash. I finished 34th. Cash was 32nd, so that was a really good use of my time. But we didn't leave Baltimore until like 7.
Yeah, I remember we were. Yeah. I had driven me, Logan, James, I think, or Cameron. Yeah, me, Logan, Cameron were like almost home by the time you guys were leaving.
And I think like we didn't get back home till like 4 or 5 in the morning.
It was like 4:30.
I was hallucinating stuff on the road, driving through like the back roads of like. So you take, what is it, 91? Is it 91? 95. 95. Like all the way to like North Carolina, and then Google Maps is like, yo, if you take these 2-lane roads that are windy and you can't see stuff on, you'll get home 6 minutes faster.
Yeah.
Or die. And I was like, 6 minutes faster is way better than 6 minutes slower. And just driving these back roads, like I missed a turn, and like I don't know where we went. I was like, I'm never gonna find my way home. I couldn't find a way to turn around. It was awful.
This was also the classic where I'd never seen it before, but it was definitely like a contested battle with your opponent, Profe. And the opponent, hand on my heart, calls for a judge only to bring to the judge to the side and ask the judge like what day it was.
Yeah, so he was like
so
trying
that
to,
he would get into Profe's mind. I
was
could not
shooting you.
believe it. I
yeah,
couldn't believe it.
it was I know the guy's name. Or no, I don't know the guy's name. I know his face. I know where his local game store is. He plays at the Bearded Dragon in New Jersey. He plays like exclusively played Miracles in
Yeah, that's
Legacy.
the one.
And he like top 8'd like a Legacy GP like 6 months later. But yeah, he like, I lost because like can never beat like Terminus and like Swords to Plowshares. Oh no, I was playing Tin Fins. So
Oh boy.
yeah, I lost that one. But yeah, he like apparently called because Anthony was watching, and then went to see what he was like asking the judge about. Like nothing he was gonna tell me like until
Right.
after the match. It was just like after the match, he was like, yeah, he like asked him like when the next tournament was or something. It was just
That is technically something you can ask a judge per the rules.
yeah. So just like went and like stalled and killed time, and I was like, that was so unbelievably weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost that one. If I would have won that one, I probably would have cashed. But then I wouldn't have gotten to
What is
play
happening?
Jim Davis with Goblins. Yes, he was like on his stream the next day. He was like, "Yeah, Goblins was pretty good." Then we lost to Fast Combo. I was like, "That was me. I was Fast Combo." You played a Skirk Prospector, and I drew my deck. It was great. So, yeah, those were the good times of going places, almost killing Anthony. That was also that trip back from Baltimore. We started driving, and there was like a police checkpoint. Do you remember this, Anthony? Like we were like in traffic, and the cops were checking people.
What were they looking for?
I don't know. They just we had to go. They were going like car to car checking like driver's licenses.
Weird.
Oh man, yeah. Where I was like, oh no, they're coming for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, you're like, crap, I'm in rural Maryland and I'm darker than a caramel. This can't be good.
This is not a good time for me.
Okay, I'm going to put you on blast right now. Thank God you didn't have the beard you have now.
Oh, don't. Oh, my
You would have gone
goodness.
straight to Guantanamo. It would I would have come back. What happened to Anthony? Extraordinary
You got taken
rendition.
away.
I don't know.
I'm trying to get Karsten status. That's what I'm trying to do.
That only happens if we take you to the crab cake place in Baltimore 1 year
Oh,
and then bring you back, and the waitress goes, I remember that beard.
Yeah,
That is
oh,
the
that's
only,
right.
That is
That
the only way you
happened.
reach.
That happened.
Yeah, like we all went in and she was like, you were here last year. I remember that beard. It's like, damn.
It's a pretty epic beard. What can I say?
It is pretty
It
epic.
is- it is
Second best
really
beard in
nice.
Magic right here.
Second
I
best
would
beard?
say so. Who's got the first?
I mean, Vince, better known as Pleasant Kenobi, is self-proclaimed first best beard.
The best beard in all of
Oh,
Magic
that-
Esports? I don't know.
That's
Carson,
He
you have the
claimed
best
he
beard.
claimed it before I claimed it, so he's first. And
I think you guys could duke it out and you
Time.
could beat up.
no, it's by
Pinocchio.
time. He's the first best beard because he claimed it first,
Okay.
Mm.
not because it's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's another thing that we talked about on the podcast a long time ago was like how we'd look forward to like going to a city to go back to our like favorite spot that we found the last time or to
Okay.
find a new hey, not always Outback. We had Crab Cake Place.
So I think I told you my sister and her husband have been coming down pretty regularly because his mom lives in Alabama, and they're like she's got some medical issues that they had to attend to. So during COVID, obviously they weren't going to fly, so they were like driving back and forth once a month, and they'd stop here. So I got to see them quite a bit, like while the world was burning. And I don't remember how we got on the topic, but one of the last shows that they played before the circus like disbanded was in Richmond, and they do the show in the convention center also. So like, you know, same, not obviously in the same exact place, but the same, you know, general location as where the Magic tournaments are. So I was just talking about, you know, how it's funny that we go back to the same cities year after year after year, and we, you know, for the most part hit the same restaurants every year. And my sister made the comment that last time they were in Richmond, right before the circus disbanded, they went to this really cool British pub right down
Let's
the road.
go.
Yeah.
Right down the road from the convention center. I was like, oh yeah, we go there all the time. It's like the copper penny or brass penny or whatever it is.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, that's it. I was like, yeah, we had this crazy waitress. And my sister's like, the one that got attacked by a dog?
Yeah. So like it was not
Forgot about that.
it was not our normal crew. So we had a few extra people. When we go, we got this whole entire room, and our waitress like just can't take our order. She has to tell us about how like her roommate like got attacked by a dog and she saved her, and then the dog like tried to rip her arm off, and like she's all got this metal forearm now, and I'm just like, I just want some bangers and mash. Like like I'm sorry for the loss of your arm, but can I please just have some food? Like, all I've eaten today is like 2 $8 convention center pretzels. I need something. I need nourishment. I can't, because we try to keep it PG here, I can't tell you what she called her roommate. It was hateful and then another word.
Oh dear.
Yes, a gardening tool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yes, it was interesting. But yeah, we keep going back there, and then that was the place that I made Anthony go eat like that at that Korean place. Yeah, I remember that place, that like weird Korean fusion place on the corner.
Yes, you made me try chichabob.
Galbi
Chichabob?
or bulgogi.
Yeah, that's what it is, right
Bulgogi.
there.
Yeah,
It's
and then,
delicious.
and that's
I
also
like
where,
Chicha Bob better.
Well, I think Chicha Bob is the Carson special, which is bring me wings, no sauce. And the woman looked at you and said, no sauce? No sauce. When you were on your like, I can't have food diet.
Yeah.
Wings, no
That
sauce.
was rough. Yeah, she definitely looked at me strangely. Like, no sauce? Yeah, no sauce. Well, what do you want? Just the wings, please.
I would like cooked, unseasoned meat. Chop, chop.
Yeah. Just the wings. It was like literally the only thing on the menu that didn't have like soy or breading.
Yes.
That's fair.
And then you weren't with us when we found that like Korean wing place in DC.
Oh, that place was so good.
Yeah. I was like, we should go here. And we went and like got Korean food, and then their wings were like amazing.
Yeah.
These are the things you don't get anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, what was your tournament meal at your arena open? Well, I had some random stuff from my fridge.
I took peanut butter and fluff sandwich and some Cheetos.
Yeah, I took my
morning coffee and crackers.
I took a pilgrimage from my couch to the fridge.
Yeah.
There was the same food there always was. I was sad.
With half a can of tuna fish.
Woo! That really spicing it up there, Carson.
No mayo, just tuna fish.
Oh,
It's
Oh, man.
tuna, no sauce.
Hold the fish.
Oh, were you at Subway now? Hold the fish?
Oh, hey,
another joke.
hey.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, I think I might have brought this up on a pre-show once, but fun parenting fact. Did you know there are peanut butter Cheetos?
Yeah.
No.
They're called Bomba.
They're kind of schmack. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, they're
called what?
Bomba?
Hmm.
And I thought they were... So, my wife got them as a safe way to start introducing peanuts to the baby to try to ensure there's no peanut allergies. And so, I thought they were just some like baby thing. And then we got a snack crate from Israel. And lo and behold, in the snack crate from Israel, 1 bag of Bomba. So our the baby, Gavin, he ate the peanut butter Cheetos out of my snack crate. But I still have like a case that she bought. She bought like a case. I'm like, how many is he gonna eat?
Did Gavino like it?
Yeah, there's a video that exists somewhere on my phone of him feeding himself peanut butter Cheetos. I'm like, when can I get him real Cheetos?
Oh, Gavino.
Just let me get him some like cheese puffs. Let's go nuts. And she was like, no. I was like, come on now. Just turn him orange. It'll be fine.
Let's go. Come on.
It's only orange for a minute. He's going to slobber and wash it off anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, the amount of slobber. It's unbelievable. It's like you're so little. How are you always so wet? I don't understand. Like
it's surface area, man. Like we produce that much moisture and it like evaporates because we have so much more surface area. But that little kid, it's just there's not as much surface area to evaporate.
Okay, I just think if as much stuff that I ate came back out of my mouth as with him, I would have to go to the doctor. I would be in the hospital. They'd be like, "You're not okay." So we were playing God of War. That's right. He was coaching, and we took a break, and I had him sitting on my chest, and he just looked at me and just threw up all over me. And I was like, "Thank you so much, baby."
Boy,
I didn't like this shirt anyway. Let's take you downstairs and change you.
At least he did it while you were taking a break and not while you were in the middle of fighting the bad guy.
This is true. He did totally cost me a fight. Like he reached out and smacked my controller and like knocked me into something. I was like, dude, not cool. Not cool, bro. You have your own controller right here. Hold that one. He's like, no, I want yours. Like, dang it. But well, we have like a complete podcast. Memories of when we got to leave places.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And
see the outside world. Remember what Interstate 95's number is?
Yeah.
That's an awful big road to not remember the number.
Yeah, the biggest highway on the East Coast. Whoops.
Yeah. It's like 91 or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, at least I got it was odd, so it went north-south.
Yeah.
All right, So I hope everyone enjoyed having Kristos and Anthony, better known as Rico Plays 1723, on the podcast. You should check out their podcast, Casual Try Hard LOR, Legends of Runeterra. Said there's going to be an episode coming up after this one, so you can download it from your feed here and then go over and find them on their feed.
Yeah,
so,
where can they find your show?
That is twitter.com/casual_pod. All spelled, all lowercase.
But where, like, are you guys, is your podcast on iTunes?
Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher.
Okay, so they just need to, like, Casual Try Hard, like, LOR, and they'll find them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That'll find it.
Awesome. So, what if they want to follow Kristos? Where can they find you?
I am twitter.com/KristosiVivo, same as before, KristosIIVevo.
I know you stream, so where?
I sure do. Twitch.tv/Kristosi. If you want to look at my Twitter banner, that is on there as well, with all the links and everything you could possibly need to find any content that I create is all linked on my Twitter.
So you're streaming Legends of Runeterra, right?
So I'm streaming a bunch of stuff. I still stream Magic. I'll be pushing for Mythic again in February. I'm going for Masters in LOR and Immortal on Valorant.
Okay.
So we play lots of games.
You do. Anthony, where can they find you on the internet?
They can find me at Rico Plays 1723 on Twitch and on Twitter. I don't have the same energy that Kristos does to play all those games, so basically I'm sticking to Legends of Runeterra.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so with all of that, I think we have a show.
We do.
So if you want to find us on Twitter, you can get us at Casual Tripod.
Yep. You can also hit us up on Facebook at CasualTryHardMTG. If you guys want to drop us an email, you can do so at show@CasualTryHardMTG.com. Don't forget, if you guys are looking to pick up any sweet Kaldheim singles, by the time you're listening to this episode, should be right about when collector boosters are dropping. So maybe you wait through the weekend, and that's probably the best time to buy singles from Kaldheim. If you're going to do that, make sure you use our TCG Player affiliate link, tcg.casualtryhardmtg.com. Anything you guys purchase after following that link, we'll get a small portion of to help keep the show rolling. If you guys want to support us more directly, you can do so at patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. We had a new patron this week. Thanks, Jose. Really appreciate it. Patrons get early access to our show notes. I try and post them the day before the show goes live. And we also record our kind of mic check, catch up conversation before we start the show. And I post that to Patreon as well, typically on Tuesdays. We also have a YouTube channel, Casual Try Hard MTG on YouTube. And I just got done recording some videos that hopefully we're going to throw up there. I didn't get a chance to record a pre-release kit for the local game store. So I bought one, brought it home, opened it up, and built a sealed deck and filmed it. So hopefully that's going to go up on YouTube. And I also bought a draft box, a set box, and a collector box that I'm going to crack open on video, and we'll post them up there as well. Go easy on me. I'm an old guy that doesn't computer well. I fix cars, not internets. So quality's a little questionable. Hopefully I can work on that, and we'll get it out there and see what kind of reception it gets. We also have a Discord channel. Link should be in the description. It's also on all our social media. I do still have some Zendikar Rising FNM promos left. I was able to get a few pre-release codes for Kaldheim for Arena. I really don't have that many, so it's kind of first come, first serve. I'm hoping I'll get some more if the game store cracks their extra pre-release kits. Hopefully I'll be able to snag some more, but I really don't have too many. So first come, first serve on those. And the way to get those is in our Discord. Hop into our Discord, post up in the free stuff room the type of code that you're looking for, and I'll message it right out to you.
So with that, we'll catch you on the internets.
Catch you guys on the internets. Oh no.
Oh, we lost him.
He's
We
dead.
lost him.
Can you hear me now?
I can
Hello.
hear you now. I can't hear you now.
Nope.
Can you hear me now?
I can
Yes.
hear you now. God
Okay.
damn it, I'm in a Verizon
Okay, sorry.
commercial.
I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now?